Hello and welcome to Rocket Lab's Qvioa's Flying Services mission. Thank you to the viewers joining us as we get ready to go to space once again. Currently, we're watching the weather and it's looking good for today's launch into orbit. Today's mission will be launching the 5G cube into low Earth orbit to provide 5G Wi-Fi. I want to get this clear right away. Remember, we're not affiliated with the real-life Rocket Lab. We are a company on Roblox expanding off of their idea. We do not monetize our work in any way either. Should copyright holders request to take down all lab assets, we will do so immediately. We will take down any assets or any videos regarding the group. Now, I'm going to talk about the coming up will be our ground systems activation, which has actually already happened. At 15, will be engine chilling. That'll be our next major event. And I'll start talking about the next series of events that will be happening on the countdown clock. So currently we're at T-minus 16 minutes and 35 seconds. And currently all is go at this time. Piston Control are monitoring the rocket's stats and etc. inside. For example, how much propellant is loading and it's for example, and just some other stuff. For example, how much electricity it's using, and some other stuff like that. Currently, as I said, it's T-minus 15 minutes, or it's T-minus 16 minutes currently on the clock. At T-minus 10 minutes will be our next major event. That'll be clamp arm opening. That is when the arm right behind the vehicle, the clamp arm, will retract, as well as, not that, the arm that's holding the rocket, the black thing. That will be retracted slowly away from the rocket, and then we'll have strong back retraction just a little bit after that. Strong back retraction will be at T-minus 6 minutes and 40. The strong back is the structure right behind the vehicle. That's what the strong back is, and that will be retracted away from the rocket since it'll be getting ready to go to space, and we don't want to collide with that strong back. Now, as soon as we have ignition at T+2 seconds, that there's a little cable connected to the rocket at this time, a little black cable connected from the strong back to the rocket at this time. At T+2 seconds, we'll disconnect that cable, and then the rocket will be on its way into orbit. Now, at this time, all systems are nominal, and the satellites just about a mile away from the rocket pad are now getting feed from the rocket and are now pushing it to the mission control center, where they are reading live telemetry from the vehicle. And we can see that we're at LC1 today here in Mejia Peninsula, and we're currently using pad number 1. Pad number 2 is not ready quite yet, but coming up soon enough. Get this pad number 2 rolling, and we'll be able to launch from there quite frequently as well. Now, I want to talk about the rocket as well, the Rocket Lab Electron. So, the Electron consists of 2 stages. For example, the first stage and the second stage. The second stage powered by a Rutherford vacuum variant of the main Rutherford engines on the first stage. So the second stage is powered by that, the Rutherford engine, but vacuum optimized. With that'll get a peak thrust of about 5,000 pounds, and then at the first stage has a peak thrust of about 34,500 pounds of thrust. The peak thrust of 41,000, or a liftoff thrust of 34,500 pounds, and a peak thrust of 41,500 pounds. Electron's first stage is powered by 9 Rutherford engines that are much smaller than the vacuum engine, and they're much better to be used once inside in atmosphere, for example, Earth's atmosphere. Once we've used all the fuel in the Rutherford engines on the first stage, they will be staged. We'll stage the vehicle, and then the first stage will come falling back and will splash down in the water safely. Then the second stage will ignite, and that'll take us into orbit. Now, we'll also be using the kick stage, I believe, for this mission. And the reason why we use the kick stage on missions is because, first of all, we like to make it so that our second stage will deorbit itself. So once we're just about about to get into orbit, we'll stage the vehicle from the second stage into the into our kick stage, and then the second stage will deorbit itself nice and slowly. Now, Photon will not be deorbited because Photon is also a satellite, if you didn't know, that can take pictures. So once Photon is used, a couple hours later, Missing Control Center will transform it into a satellite where pictures will be taken and the high-quality camera will be activated, where we can get high-quality snapshots of Earth and send them back to our Missing Control Center, where we'll be using those pictures for daily consumer use. Now, we'll see you back at T-minus 5 minutes.
Inside the book that I wrote, of all the words that we spoke, yet only with our eyes. Now is the time to choose. Somebody wins and some lose. I can see through your disguise. Lay it down, hope for something better. Looking at the clouds, the cyber and the weather. You can't keep this up. The lies are just too much. Kick back, start another fire. Looking at the clouds, making shapes that you admire. And you can't stop it now, 'cause you don't know how. And you can't stop it now.
So just a quick update to everyone wondering. We're now at T-minus 9 minutes and 50 seconds, and 10 seconds ago, we just had strong back retraction. Not strong back retraction, the clamp arm retraction. The clamp arm was holding the rocket up straight, but now that we've retracted it, since we're getting in the final minutes until our phase launch.
Just too much. Kick back, start another fire.
And just a quick update for anyone wondering, we are 3 seconds away from strongback retraction. and we've got the call out. Strongback has been retracted successfully. The strongback is the structure right behind the rocket, which is holding it up. But now that we're in the final minutes until launch, we've decided we are retracting it. So because we don't want to collide with it. Now coming up at T-minus 5 minutes, our next major event. This will be a big one. It'll be our go no go poll at Missile Control Center from every station. For example, the flight director, or from the flight director station all the way to all the other stations that are reading this telemetry. Now, once we get the go no go poll verified, we'll see. If it's a go for launch, then we will continue with operations, and if not, we will decide what happens next. Now, currently we're at T-minus 5 minutes and 50 seconds. All is go. Our satellites a mile away are picking up feed from the rocket and are delivering telemetry to the Mission Control Center in Auckland. Now, as I said, this mission will be using our kick stage today. The kick stage, also known as Photon, will be using our Curie engine, and the Curie engine will basically circularize the payload in the orbit that is required by the customer. Now, once the orbit is perfectly on point, as always, we will turn the Photon into a satellite where we'll be taking high quality photos. And the go no go poll has started. All stations from and Mission Control Center in Auckland, for example, from the flight director station all the way to the satellite station, and etc. For example, ground crew and etc. They will get their status checked, and then if we get a go from all our stations, we will continue with operations. If not, like I said, we will determine what happens next. And Electron is go for launch. T-minus 4 minutes and 15 seconds. All is go currently. Coming up at T-minus 3 minutes will be the teams moving to launch safety. Launch safety is where all of our ground teams will be moving away from the rocket. So if there were to be some sort of anomaly, for example, an explosion or etc., we will not be endangered, which we hope doesn't happen. Now all systems are currently go. The propellant is still being loaded. At 2 minutes and 5 seconds, we'll have propellant load completion, and that is when we'll continue to chill until T-minus 0, and then the rocket will ignite, and obviously it'll get very heated. So that is when chilling will stop. And launch safety is now in effect. All the ground teams are now moving away from the vehicle and are now heading back to the staff center, where they will be viewing the launch, and will be also looking at some telemetry. And we can see the vehicle is now moving away. They'll be going to the staff center, as I said, to watch the launch, and they will also be viewing it. And since they got a front row seat, they'll be reporting to Mission Control anything that happens that looks unexpected or etc. And we're at T-minus 2 minutes and 26 seconds away from the launch of Electron. Currently, all is go. The weather is currently is 100% go for launch at this time. Currently, in the Mahia Peninsula, the time right now is currently 5:58 a.m. Which is quite early today in the morning, but currently all is go. And 1 minute and 48 seconds away from launch. And we can see that once, and we will be able to get the call out from Mission Control Center that at T minus 30 seconds, we'll be switching from ground power to internal power, so we'll be running on onboard fuel cells and power. So that is when we'll be in the final seconds of from launch, sorry. And 1 minute and 15 seconds. And T minus 1 minute. And T minus 45 seconds. We're in the final phase of the countdown here. T minus 30 seconds. All is go at this time. And the vehicle is now switching to internal power at this time. We'll get the call out from Mission Control Center shortly. And we're now on internal power, reported from Mission Control Center. We're now running on internal fuel cells and power. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Soon. T plus 30 seconds into flight. We're currently looking at nominal telemetry and nominal power telemetry. And its first stage propulsion is nominal, and currently we are now starting to pitch downrange. Coming up will be max Q. And vehicle is supersonic at this time. And we're throttling down those 9 Rutherford engines to get ready for the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure, the most stress on the vehicle. And we've passed through maximum aerodynamic pressure, and we're now throttling back up to the peak thrust of 41,500 pounds. And our power telemetry and propulsion telemetry is nominal at this time. We're getting good feed from the rocket and good communications with the rocket. Coming up soon at 2:30 into flight, MECO. That is about 1 minute away from now. We're gonna let the 9 Rutherford engines just push ourselves into orbit. And then once we've used all that fuel, of course, we're gonna stage at 2:30 into flight. And we reached peak thrust, and the vehicle is now exceeded Mach 1 on the Rocket Lab Electron. And we are now passing through, we've broken through the sound barrier at this time, and we're going faster than the speed of sound, of course. And we can see the vehicle starting to pitch downrange. It's pitching nice and gradually, of course. And Mission Control reports that their telemetry in propulsion and power is nominal currently at this time. And T plus 2 minutes and 33 seconds coming up will be MECO. And we're starting to throttle down. And we have MECO. Stand by for staging. And we have staging occurred at 2:44 into flight. Now we're standing by for second stage ignition. And we have ignition of that second stage coming up at 3 minutes and 25 seconds will be fairing separation. We have fairing separation to get rid of the dead weight, because we are now in space and it is not needed. And we have fairing ship exposing the payload. Now that we're in space, the fairings are just dead weight to us, so we are now releasing them from the vehicle, so the payload is now exposed. And we can see 5G cube is sit right above the kick stage, of course. And coming up soon enough will be staging, and then we'll have kick stage ignition. And then the second stage will deorbit itself, of course. And currently, the 5G cube is in a good condition at this time, and we're pushing ourselves into the correct desired orbit. And we're getting good telemetry on the vehicle. The first stage will be coming back to Earth, and we'll splash down in the water safely with parachutes, of course. And we're standing by for the mission control callout for staging of the second stage and ignition for the Curie engine on the Photon kick stage. And we're at T plus 5 minutes and 30 seconds at this time. Our apoapsis is looking good, and our periapsis is looking good. Currently, our orbit is perfect. Now we have second engine cut off, and we have staging. And we're standing by for Curie ignition. And you have ignition of the Curie. Since this engine is doesn't have much power, we can get very precise orbits, of course, which is very well for customers in need of a very specific orbit. Now coming up at around 7 minutes will be payload deployment, and that is when the 5G cube will be deployed into space, and all of its systems and power will be activated. And then a couple hours later, around T plus 2 hours, we'll get ready to activate the Photon into a satellite. And we're now getting word now from the control center that the burn will be a little bit longer than usual. We do not know why at this time, but that is not a problem. We've had this happen before. So the burn will be a little bit longer than expected. Of course, that is okay. And this is actually the reason is that this is due to the payload orbit. The orbit that the customer requested requires us to burn for a little bit long, and we have to burn longer because the one engine isn't as powerful as you think it might be. So of course we need to just burn for a little bit longer than usual. And we can still see that second stage getting lower and lower as it's getting ready to deorbit itself. The second stage will burn up in the atmosphere, and it'll not be harmful to anyone around in any, and it'll be deorbiting itself over uninhabited areas, of course, just for safety purposes. We do not want to affect any habited areas. And of course, on this launch, Photon will be turning into a satellite, of course. So Photon activate its onboard cameras and will point down so the cameras can take pictures of the Earth. And once we get those pictures, we will be using them for daily consumer usage. And the T plus 8 minutes and 20 seconds into flight. The 9-minute ride into orbit is so far going successful, of course. So we still have a good couple of minutes left. So we do have a good couple of minutes left until we can confirm successfully that the payload is in perfectly good shape, of course. And we have had payload deployment, of course, at 8 minutes and 43 seconds. And we've had payload deployment of the 5G cube. We're standing by for the call out. The payload is in good shape. And Photon is now going to be orbiting as well in the same orbit, and we'll get ready for transitioning into a satellite. And the payload is nominal, of course, so that is very nice. We've had mission success again here at Rocket Lab, and we're very thankful for that. Now, I would like to make this clear, of course, that today marks a very special day here for Rocket Lab. Today is September 5th, the birthday of II Train developer or co-founder here at Rocket Lab, who is very and is a very beneficial part to this company. So if we all could just give a moment to thank him, happy birthday. Now, I'd like to end this off with some ending remarks, of course. I would like to make this clear that we're not affiliated with the Real Life Rocket Lab. We're a company on Roblox expanding off their idea. We do not monetize our work in any way either. Should copyright holders request to take down all Rocket Lab assets, we will do so immediately. We'll take down any assets or any videos regarding the group. Now, the payload is in good shape. We're gonna end this off as mission success. Thanks to everyone watching, and we wish you a good one.